it's Jouelzy, and it's time for another Pop Snark. We talk about everything from the low brow to the high brow, as long as your eyebrows are on fleek. I forgot to say that yesterday, and you should feel extra special because this is 2 Pop Snarks in 1 week. We're making up for lost time in the month of April. Thank me, girl. By copping a Smartbrowngirl shirt. Don't you know the crew neck sweatshirts actually come in all sizes, from toddlers on up through plus sizes for adults. So even if you have one that shows a peek of your shoulder, go ahead and grab a crew neck one too. They're so comfy. I did it because you guys kept asking for crew neck ones, and we have them. So support, because the IRS is still coming after me. The Peter Falk Vineyards in Cape Town, South Africa. It's actually in Stellenbosch. It's one of the wineries that is open on Sunday. I did my wine tour on Sunday, and it is the Ruby Blend. I feel like I paid 110 Rand for this, which is like $8. So hey. Clink, 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 clank. Cheers. Oh, I love this wine so much. Last Pop Snark, I kind of wrapped up my opinions on what is going on in Baltimore, what's been going on with the Black Lives Matter, and the necessity of that campaigning happening, because people out here is just on some bullshit. And to just wrap it up one more time, I really wish folks would stop sharing the video of the mother pulling her son out of the riots and mollywopping him across the head like that is a good showing of parentage. I mean, I feel like it's just some shit the white folk is using and all you respectability politic fools is using to be like, ooh, look at her. My mom would do the same thing too. So y'all can low-key slide in your respectability politics. I'm not here for the swindle. Okay? Y'all can share that video of Joseph Kent, I believe the young man's name is, who was yanked up by the police on camera. Speaking of what's going on in Baltimore, there was a case in Atlanta. I don't remember the exact number of teachers, but it was a large swath of teachers, a principal, and a superintendent, and some executives from the school district who were caught up in a cheating scandal in the Atlanta school district. Now, all the teachers who did not agree to take a plea deal were found guilty in the case, and they're up for sentencing and can face up to like 7 to 15 years for the charges they were found guilty on, which is absolutely positively absurd if you actually look at the facts of the case. There was a really good write-up early last year on the entire case. I don't know if it was in the New York Times or the Washington Post, that kind of explained the complexities of the case, and that these teachers were helping their students to cheat because of the No Child Left Behind policy that was George Bush #2 was president. It's just so effed up, the American education system, the American public education system. And basically, you know, a lot of the problems rest on the fact that we judge how well a child has been taught based off of this annual test used to test the entire very diverse United States of America. We are not a homogenous country, ethnically, class-wise, cultural-wise. If you've ever studied pedagogy, you know, part of that is basically the study of the history of teaching, or the philosophy of teaching. Part of that has been, you know, you go over the different philosophers who influenced the American teaching system. I forget which philosopher, it was an American philosopher who really advocated for teaching a child based on their cultural environment. If we're going to talk about the power of perspective and how we have to talk to white people about race so that they can understand it, and that we have to break it down to baseball analogies, or do something along the lines of Jessica Lee's awesome video with the caterpillar. Now, if we have to break those down in those terms in order for adults to understand something like the matter of race, when it's been talked about for so long, why do we not think that educating a child would be any different? The teachers found themselves caught in a quagmire where they're being judged based on their students' performance, and their schools were threatening of being closed if a certain percentage of students did not perform well enough on the test. So in order for these schools to remain open, because this puts the communities at a great disadvantage when they have to travel further to get their children to school, the teachers did what they had to do, and unfortunately that involved cheating. And so I don't believe that cheating is right, no, but I also don't feel like the punishment fits the crime at all for them to have federal charges levied against them. It's just insane. This has been the season with the most black folk, I feel like. I don't even know if that's actually a factual statement, but Kimberly Nicole, homegirl, is slaying. Like, I get my life every week when she performs. She is just awesome sauce, amazing, smart brown girl who is really doing so well. I feel kind of bad for her though, because I don't know that anyone's really become successful off of winning The Voice. So I low-key hope that she don't actually win so she can still go get her a musical contract and succeed, because I have yet to see any of The Voice winners flourish. And them contracts basically sign your life away anyway. So girl, I want to get an album. I want to see Kimberly Nicole succeed in the long run, regardless of whether that means a win or not on The Voice. I need her to like flourish full-time as a mainstream artist, because she, whoo. And I like India Carney too, kind of. I'm really more here for the weave though. They be, them 18 ounces of whatever they be putting in their hair be like, oh girl, that is so cute. Love it. The big thing that everyone wanted me to talk about is Bruce Jenner and his recent interview with Diane Sawyer, where he officially came out as a transgender woman. Now, this is one of them tricky, icky topics for me, because I have blatantly not talked about trans issues on my channel for a plethora of reasons. Namely, because I don't want to have to patrol the comments. Two, I don't feel like the trans conversation is really at the point where we can effectively have a productive conversation about the trans, about how to accept trans people and what really is the meat and the crust of the difficulties and the complexities of someone with gender dysphoria. I don't really feel like we as a people really accept trans folk. I don't feel like it's genuine. I feel like we accept pretty trans women. I feel like that's where we're at with it. You know, you don't see a whole lot of men to female trans topics coming up, because I guess it's easier for a person who's born in a female body to transition and blend into society and not be questioned nearly as much. But I just feel like that's kind of like overlooking a whole lot of things. I don't know if that's really true all the way, because there has been a recent, if you look at the news, a lot of the trans people that are committing suicide, black female to male transgender men, there have been a lot of black transgendered men who have committed suicide recently. And so I feel like we just at a point where we accepting the glossy esque. I'm not really here for Amaya Scott. She just, man, it's just a whole lot of issues that I feel like we can't really talk about yet. Like we're not that developed of a society yet where we can have an actual conversation without throwing hate mongers or telling people that they're gonna burn in hell and all sorts of other shit that's not relevant to the actual conversation. So I've just chosen not to talk about it. I mean, I think it's cute that y'all like Janet Mock. She's cute and curly. I think it's cute that you like Laverne Cox, but the CC chick she be riding around with, I want to see you really accept her. Once we get to the level of conversation where someone who have been able to afford the surgeries to get all cute and look like the woman that they want to look like, then I feel like we'd be ready to have the conversation. I also feel like the trans community in itself, in the growing pains era of coming together, and from what I've seen and read, I don't know that there's a unified opinion on anything in the trans community at all. I don't even think there's a majority opinion on anything in the trans community. And so, as a cisgendered woman, because I know I'm not gonna take kindly to anybody tell me that I have cisgender privilege as a black woman, I'm not ready for that conversation at the fuck all. I thought it was very tastefully done by Diane Sawyer. I am a little like, it wasn't his last interview as a man, I guess. That part was kind of lost on me. I mean, I feel like it was genuine. I don't feel like he is riding the fame wave with this. I feel like he really didn't have any option because of the family that he comes from. He's going to be hounded by the paparazzi, point blank, period. And so this was the most he could do to keep it in his own control. I mean, that's all I really got on it. It's the Kardashian Jenner clan. You know, I have way more to say about Kylie than I do about Bruce. So, Kylie Jenner. Y'all, look, I'm on YouTube. I spend a lot of time on YouTube. I see all these how to get Kylie Jenner lips videos with 3 million, 4 million, 5 million videos. Now, if I did a how to get Kylie Jenner lips video, get you some black parents, girl, wouldn't nobody be fucking with it. So I'm just not here for, about having full lips. I would not get nearly as large of an audience as someone who's talking about how to get Kylie Jenner lips because I'm a black woman, and full lips on a black woman is not perceived as anything unique, special, or even cute or pretty amongst the mainstream status quo. It when it's packaged on someone who didn't originally have it. So now that a white girl is walking around with it, all of a sudden it's cute and cool, and y'all are doing all this dumb shit to make your lips bigger. Like, Put the plumping creams on. Those have been around way before Kylie Jenner ever came onto the scene. But sucking your lips and bottle caps and just dumb shit, it's just like, girl. This shit barely looks good on Kylie Jenner. First of all, she has the money to afford a good-ass plastic surgeon. Second of all, she has the bread to get a good makeup artist who can do her makeup on a daily basis. Third of all, you ain't got them coins or them dollars, boo. So just let it go. Just enjoy kissing with your gums. You can't all flourish like the rest of us. Stop trying to hop on my bandwagon. That's all I'm saying. Y'all lipstick companies can send me the check. I have more than enough in. I can do plenty of lipstick colors. Clearly, I like to wear colors. I play with my lipsticks because I have... To backtrack, let's talk about Kendrick Lamar and his racially ambiguous fiancee. Now, a lot of you that are mad at Kendrick Lamar would not be fucking with him if it wasn't for the fame, all right? Let's be clear here, too. 2, at no point in time has Kendrick Lamar claimed to be solely about dark-skinned women. You know, if we're going to talk about intersectionality, if we're going to talk about the ability to have duality and dual perspectives on things, if we're going to talk about the ability to still watch Love and Hip Hop while being about Black Lives Matter, why can we not impart this same capability to Kendrick Lamar? He does have a song on his album called Complexion, Don't Mean a Thing, which features the, I believe she's from South Carolina, North Carolina, Carolina rapper Rhapsody. And he's saying all complexions are cute. Don't be ashamed if you dark skinned. Don't be ashamed if you is melanin deficient. We is all black and beautiful, okay? I don't know at what point Kendrick Lamar said, I only fucks with dark skinned women. Ain't nothing about Kendrick Lamar's most recent album, which I am rocking the ish out of. It is awesome. You should go buy it. Shout out to the influence of Flying Lotus and Thundercat. Girl, if you don't know who they is, look them up too. I love a good jazz influence. But at no point did, I don't even think his album even came across as if he was, pro-Africa. It's very clear that when I did my South Africa meet and greet in Joburg, one of the questions was asked about why the African diaspora cultural exchange is so one-sided with African Americans influencing the rest of everybody else. And I was like, isn't it beautiful that once I leave the country, all of a sudden people acknowledge that we have a culture? We do. I said was South Africa Wi-Fi just ain't fast enough to keep up with the fact that they are very influential in the rest of the African diaspora context. And Kendrick Lamar made a good example of it. He mentioned Zulu, Hosa, Madiba, Nelson Mandela. He mentioned so much shit about South Africa on this album. It is clear that my man hit up Joburg and Cape Town and found all his life. And I think he's just someone who loves his mother and appreciates the fact that he's black and is not trying to hide his dark-skinnedness. And, even though he has a light-skinned wife, he very well can still have dark-skinned children. So, I don't know. I don't get, but, what do you not like? What's there to not like about it? Kendrick Lamar never hid his fiance. He's a very private person in general. His parents are on the album, and I have yet to see pictures of them on the internet. How often is Kendrick Lamar in the news about his personal life? Did you even know that Kendrick Lamar bought a ranch-style house in Compton instead of buying a mansion? My nigga don't floss or flaunt or do none of that. It's just not out there for the public context. So no, he wasn't trying to hide his wife while talking about how black is beautiful, because guess what? Whitney is still black, and therefore she is still beautiful in his eyes, and she's been riding with him since high school, unlike every other artist who gets on and then finds him a light-skinned exotical, okay? We could definitely be mad at Creflo Dollar's swindling ass. Now, I know there are people out there who believe that Creflo is right in asking for over $60 million in donations so that he could buy a helicopter or a private plane or whatever the F it is for him and his staff to fly around the world and, minister to the people. Now, my first question, before we even get into dragging Creflo, whose last name is Dollar, which I don't even know how you follow this. I want to know, if you are a follower of Creflo and you believe in the righteousness of this man, how accessible is he to you in your time of need? If he is a man who can minister to this very large church and is very accessible to the congregation and is putting in the work, then maybe if you're going to follow a man like Creflo, who clearly teaches prosperity preaching and that you can reap success and wealth in life by sowing seeds financially into him and his organization, how much does he allow for prosperity back into his congregation. I mean, even having this very small platform of Smart Brown Girl, I definitely get a ton of emails asking for me to promote someone's scholarship, fundraising fund for study abroad and other things. And so I know Creflo's congregation has to be hitting him up about the rough times, the hard times, and the greater things in life that they are trying to accomplish as good Christians. So how often does Creflo Dollar and his organizations fundraise or do some sort of scholarship fund for members of his very, very large church? I keep hearing this, oh, you can't slander my pastor, or you can't slander somebody who's a man of God. I mean, then therefore, all I got to do is claim that I'm a woman of God, and therefore you can't never critique or criticize or call me out for my BS then, because I'm doing everything in the name of baby Jesus and the good Lord. Cheers to that. On my blog, I am now doing a weekly recap of all the TV programs that I watch, including my current faves, American Crime, which is super complex, super awesome. Felicity Hoffman, girl, she's playing this shit out of this white woman. On Thursday, when she had the epiphany that she is a racist in such a subtle moment, that was such a great TV. I can't stand ish about Carter, and I feel for her sister Aaliyah, played by Regina King. I'm not really feeling her at the moment either, because I don't know how she is so emotionally involved in someone who clearly doesn't even respect her in the least, regardless of whether he is her brother or not. He is just a lost cause, and she is really riding out for him. But part of that is what keeps me watching, because I realize that I don't always have to see myself in the characters, or they don't always have to do what I would do in real life. And so I really want to see how the storyline kind of pans out and what is to come for her. Speaking of, I did catch up on Being Mary Jane. I have so many questions about that show that I might just have to do a whole video on that separately, because girl, and Game of Thrones, I am here for Tyrion meeting the Khaleesi. Girl, next Sunday is going to be so epic. To wrap things up, let's not forget about the world tragedy. The tragedies are happening around the world between Garissa, Kenya, the earthquakes in Nepal. I'm super happy to hear that some girls were rescued from northern Nigeria with the whole Bring Back Our Girls campaign. I don't know if it was the same girls, but some girls was caught, some 200 girls was supposedly rescued. So that's always great news. But we should definitely, keep prayers up for the rest of the world that is going through their own calamities and tragedies. And maybe we can unify and speak out better than Tidal can. Jay-Z's new endeavor, where he's trying to compete with Spotify and Pandora, and somehow a man who simply, I'm not going to say Jay-Z didn't make no statements with regards to Black Lives Matter, but with all that is going on in the United States of America with your own people, sir. When all you did for Black Lives Matter was throw some t-shirts with the horrible Comic Sans fonts out to the Brooklyn Nets or the basketball players who were playing at the Barclays Center. But in turn, you can get all the artists together to campaign for your new music streaming software that charges $10 more than the shit that's already available. Hopefully this is under 20 minutes and we'll get back to the normal 12-minute pop snark so I can keep your attention. Cause girl, don't leave me be. And if you haven't already, grab my book, send it on. It's an awesome sauce amazeballs reads, and read it while you're rocking your crew neck, cause I look cute. Do I not? Deuces, thumbs up on your way out. It helps me so much. Bye.